really, this is like a film where the trailer is as good as the film itself. So you seem excited, but really all I'm going to say is that I had possibly the best spaghetti I've ever had today, because I boiled it in chicken stock.
Ooh. Yeah.
And then I had it with pesto and cheese, but it was absolutely incredible, and one of my favourite, certainly my favourite meal of this lockdown.
Good.
Bear in mind that I don't go out very much, so fourth favourite meal was rat. So, pasta, pretty clear winner there. And then the other thing that's happened to me today is that I'm near the end of Westworld season 2 on Prime Video, and I'm excited about that.
Okay. How many more episodes left then?
Got one more episode left.
Gonna eke it out, or just gonna go in for the plunge with a bottle of champagne?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna just I will probably drink once I finish watching it, until somebody recommends another box set.
Yeah.
But I do really like it though, because I love the original 1973 film Westworld, I'm enjoying season 2. For those of you who haven't seen Westworld,
I have not.
Okay.
I've seen The West Wing. Is it?
I've seen The West Wing every series 3 times.
Yeah.
But not Westworld.
Well, I'll give you half a point for that, but unfortunately, that's not the answer we're looking for. The Westworld is Jurassic Park with robot cowboys, basically.
Oh, okay.
So the original book was written by Michael Crichton, who also wrote Jurassic Park. And they're basically the same novel, but just at different ends of the evolutionary spectrum. So dinosaurs and then future robots. If you can get your hands on one, a copy of Westworld, I don't mean a futuristic robot, you must stay away from them, because they will turn on you. That is, if there's one thing that sci-fi has taught us, it's that they will come for us eventually.
You can only trust one of them.
Yes, and it's usually the one you least expect, and you find out sort of 9 minutes before the end of the film that you could have trusted them. By that point, you've usually shot them, and their dying words are, "I am sorry, master," something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched all the sci-fi, but most of it.
It sounds a bit like the adult equivalent of Dinosaur Train, when they stick 2 amazing things together to make a great TV show. Kids love trains and dinosaurs. Let's stick them together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dinosaurs and robots, man. Let's stick them together. See what happens.
Yeah. Hunger Games. Kids love being hungry. They love games. Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Batman. The kids love bats.
Nobody likes bats anymore, Toby. Put that back.
Okay, so sorry. Spider-Man. Kids love spiders and men.
We won't be commissioning that for a first series.
Imagine that as the pitch.
Watching a film the other day, and I kept forgetting that I wasn't watching Spider-Man, because the main character is so much like Peter Parker. I'm trying to think what it was now. I kept having to go like, it's not Spider-Man, the whole way through.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's got Tobey Maguire in it.
No, it wasn't Tobey Maguire. It was just somebody that.
It would also be quite a good tagline for like Spider-Man 5. Spider-Man 5, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Because obviously they need an outside venue, don't they, really? You've got to move it away from Metropolis.
Let me just correct you there. Spider-Man's in New York. All the Marvel comic books are based in genuine cities. The DC comics are all based in fictional cities.
Oh, that's a good fact.
Anyway, carry on, Andy.
No.
But Batman's based in Detroit, Batman is like Gotham City. It's Detroit.
It's the...
Gotham City's New York, isn't it? I thought it was New York. It says Gotham City all over New York.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, Yes,
Andy,
Andy,
go ahead.
don't do that. Andy, just be yourself. Doesn't work when you're not you.
You want me to be rude and abrasive?
Yes.
Okay. Listen to me, suckers. I've got a fact. I've got a fact about Gotham. So, Gotham. This is true. This is not a joke.
Okay.
Nothing I've said so far has been a joke, although some of it was intended to be. But Gotham is actually based on. There's a village 10 miles south of Nottingham called Gotham, where in sort of the Middle Ages, their villagers were assumed to be insane, and that's where the name comes from.
Oh.
And in my book, The Unfortunate Adventures of Tom Hillingthwaite, this is an Easter egg for the low 100 people who've read my book. But in my book, The Unfortunate Adventures of Tom Hillingthwaite,
What does low 100 mean?
I just mean it's in the low hundreds. The people who've read it, I imagine, is in the low hundreds.
101.
Rather than the high thousands for my book Stand Up and Deliver, which I'm currently reimagining for a modern age.
Got it. I thought you were calling the low 100 people that had read your book low lives or something.
No, I was planning to do that later on in like the third act of the podcast.
Good. Dan's figured out his orientation, and actually probably do a bit of orientation. Kat was asking how this podcast works. We don't really know. We've done this.
This is how it works.
So you know when it feels really awkward and like there's nothing funny and loads of dead space, that all just gets edited right out.
I haven't given my facts yet.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought going like go crazy means Gotham.
No. So the follow-up fact.
Book.
In my book, the follow-up fact, because my book, although it's a comedy novel, it's a graphic novel in terms of its tropes. So the idea is that this guy, Tom Hillingthwaite, is essentially living out a Batman fantasy, and there's one line in the book where it describes him as being from a small village just 10 miles south of Nottingham, and I don't name it, but that village is Gotham. So there's a lot of Batman Easter eggs throughout that book, which is a waste, really, because, again, I spent ages on it, and it sold a few thousand copies, but I don't think it's been the least successful of all my books in terms of readership. So it just shows kids never try.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know that.
Get a normal job.
What do you think we should be doing now? Nothing or everything?
I've got a real concern, actually. Because I live in central London, and obviously we're surrounded by many different artisan bakeries, coffee shops, craft beers. I have a real concern that a lot of people with nothing to do are going to think that once lockdown is lifted, they're going to start more of them. Just because they'll have found out how to make beer, they'll have a starter thing for soda bread now.
Oh, yeah.
They'll have figured out how to do latte art because no one's doing it themselves. It's just going to turn into it's just going to be really difficult for normal shops. You're only going to be able to buy those three things in London. Like that's it.
I like that. Yeah.
They should just just try and finish YouTube.
Yeah.
Toby, you can just retreat to your Fortress of Solitude where you are now, though.
Dan and Kat both got it. No comment from Tandy or Andy.
From Batman himself.
It was either Fortress of Solitude or the real life place where that quiz where they've got all the hexes. Can I have a pee, please, Bob? What was that? Not Countdown.
Blockbusters.
Blockbusters. You're in the real life Blockbusters world.
Toby's too young.
It's all blue?
Yeah. I don't know.
And Cats to overseas.
Oh,
Cats
yeah.
to.
Oh,
No, I know Blockbuster, honey. Yeah, oh yeah. I'm a Blockbuster video.
No, you're mistaken. Blockbusters was a game show in the.
Oh yeah, no cultural reference too far. No, I don't know Blockbuster. No.
As I prophesied a few moments ago.
I thought Dan's like, your kryptonite looked like a bunch of Blockbuster videos. Like shells, the blue, you know. That's all.
Yeah, similar. Hey
That's
guys,
what it looks
what's
like now. That's what it looks like now. The last Blockbuster ever evaporated, disappeared, and it's now actually in the North Pole, and it looks exactly like this. And that's where I am, the final ever Blockbuster video base.
Yeah. And all you've got is Weekend at Bernie's 2. It's like in Demolition Man, where after the franchise wars, Taco Bell's the only restaurant left. It's that, but with Weekend at Bernie's. Do you know there was a Weekend at Bernie's 3?
No.
There was. Like, what point of decomposition must the guy have been at?
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, where's Bernie? He's the guy over there with the mouse coming out of his eye socket.
Yeah. No, Weekend at Bernie's 3.
What's the worst habit you've got or you've ever had? What's the worst habit? It doesn't have to be like a really graphic one. It shouldn't be a really graphic one. But like, just in terms of something that you do that you always say, oh, I wish I wouldn't do that.
I have one that everyone in my family hates me doing. When there's a box of chocolates, I'm the person that takes a bite. I don't like this chocolate, and then I put it back.
Yeah.
Wrong.
I mean, Valentine's Day, I definitely coronavirus.
What's that? Cat?
Well, I had coronavirus, right? And February wasn't that long ago, so maybe it was me just biting on.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Tell us about that, Kat. How was coronavirus?
It was fine.
Sorry, did you hear us ask you about your most recent picnic? Like, how was your coronavirus? Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, we took a few people with us.
Yeah, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I woke up in the middle of the night and had a bad fever and fainted, and yeah, it was but it was fine. I just had the hardest thing. It was very uncomfortable. My back, which I learned was my lung. It was my lung that really, really hurt. So I had to keep taking painkillers. I thought it was my back. It was my lung.
Wow.
But fine, and a pressure on my chest. Like it felt like someone was pressing on my chest. But I was functional. Like I could talk and, joke around and stuff. I was saying it would have been way worse with the vomiting bug. That would have been worse.
Seems to affect people very differently, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you have to call 111?
We thought about it, but no, we just waited for the fever to go. And you can't, unless you're having breathing problems, they won't take you anyway. So I wouldn't have wanted to go to the hospital.
So your lung was hurting, but you didn't have trouble breathing?
No, I didn't. I wasn't wheezing. No.
I'm so glad you came through it.
What's 111? What's 111?
3,
a
Andy.
step down from 999.
Okay.
You not know, Andy?
I don't want to call an ambulance. We're not so sure, so I'm just gonna tier 1 it.
Yeah, it's kind of entry level emergency.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, no, because see, I wish I'd known that because I had some nausea the other day, and I called 911, the 90s boy band from Carlisle, and they couldn't help me because they're all working on individual projects now, and as a result, I just had to ride it out.
Yeah.
Which turns out you did exactly the right thing.
Good. What about your worst habit, Toby?
Probably always being right, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your wife said that was your worst habit through tears as she spoke to me on the phone the other day.
We have that conversation quite a lot, but as long as I win.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
I don't think I have any bad habits, really.
Okay.
Nicely done. No one likes me, really. I can't really figure that out. I think it's because I pick my nose with a fork.
Tandy, you're keeping very button lipped there.
Tandy, we're still on the podcast.
She just pressed Control-Alt-Delete on herself.
Sorry? What's going on now?
Bring yourself back online.
Yep. Hello.
Yeah. What's your worst habit?
My worst habit? Oh, I'd have to say maybe daydreaming.
Mine was. She got.
I don't know what just happened.
Cat's
Are you
gone.
okay, Cat?
The cat's gone.
Oh, she got a cat. Has she got a cat?
Oh, she went to get a drink.
That looked like a mega emergency cat. You're worse than us.
I thought you must have diarrhea or something.
It's a mini keg machine. It's the funnest, most alcoholic-inducing thing ever. But
That's amazing.
yeah.
I warned you. This is the end of civilization.
Yes.
It really is.
Has anyone taken up a hobby or at least said to themselves, okay, this is the time I'm going to do X, and have not done anything about doing that hobby you've always wanted to start?
I've been doing a lot more exercise lately, hence the behind me.
And you've been doing that?
Yeah.
Dan, come on, let's see the guns. Let's see the guns.
Oh no, mainly I climb up the top and just sleep up there. Yeah.
My younger son earlier on, he said, I made something last night, Mum, but I can't get it. It fell down the back of my chest of drawers. Can you get it for me? So I reached down the back of the chest of drawers. I picked it out, and it was like a load of wire attached to a tiny wheel. And he went, "What do you think that looks like?" I went, And he went, "I made it. It's great, isn't it? What do you think it looks like?" I was like, a bird's head, because it kind of looked like that with a, And he went, "No, try again." So I was like, "Oh no," when you think, "Oh, I've got to get this right," and then I was just like, I don't know. And he just went, "It looks like a wheel with wires coming out of it, like someone inventing something." Oh yeah.
Just say what you see. My new hobby is keeping all of my family and friends in a permanent state of fear by starting every text, email, Facebook message with the phrase, "This is the hardest thing I've ever had to write." Like, no matter what I'm going to go on to say, I always start with that. So it just, my dad's had a couple of heart attacks recently. Lots of my family don't talk to me anyway, so that doesn't really matter. But it's something to keep myself occupied. Before coronavirus, I was ringing up. My hobby was ringing up primary schools and telling them that fictional children wouldn't be in today. That was something that I quite liked doing for a while. My worst habit is I'm trying to cut down on it now. I went through a phase for about 6 to 9 months of telling everybody that they were the people's princess, like when they'd done anything kind of like noble or good deedy. And eventually people liked it at first, but then eventually it just became, it was like my go-to phrase. And I'd often bring it up if I felt a conversation had lagged in any way. So the woman serving me at Nando's, she put down the chicken and I say, "You are the people's princess." And I make sure that the voice broke as well, like when it was said originally. My grandmother giving me pocket money, which she still does. "You are the people's princess." Just, it was hack by the end.
Toby, you've finished Netflix.
Yeah.
I was thinking today that it's not such a good idea to finish everything, because if this goes on for a very long time, no one's going to be able to do any more of anything apart from if they do it from home. So like, imagine what Walking Dead's going to be like in a year's time when they have to all film it individually in like their back gardens and stuff, and they'll have to do their own like zombie makeup, like sellotape a bit of scrambled egg to their face and a bit of Tabasco sauce and stuff. It's going to be awful. Maybe slow down and enjoy what you're watching.
As we know, I did YouTube as well. So I finished that. So I've moved away from just, stuff that you watch. So I finished Temple Run recently.
He makes it out, does he?
Well, actually what it ends is you run into the garage You run all the way out of the temple with the idol into the garage, and then it turns into a couch gag from The Simpsons. It's amazing, but obviously,
Spoiler alert, Toby.
Sorry,
not the whole lot.
should have helped. Should have at least led with that. Right. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
What was that other one, Dan? That we thought Toby could do?
Have you thought about finishing all the memes?
All the memes. Well, they're kind of
ever made.
Yeah. Most of them are just Sean Bean as Boromir with top and bottom text. That's most of them.
Yeah. One does not simply followed by
finish all the memes.
Yeah. Finish all the memes. Yeah, I think that's
that should be the meme. How meta.
That's it. Bye.
That's it. Last one.
Yeah.
Kat, have you been doing any online stand-up?
I did a couple things as my character Evian. It's hard. I think the best way to do it is through sort of character comedy, because it's like acting. I think the stand-up comedy on the streaming is just never that funny. Even the professional ones, as slick and smooth as you can get it, you're still kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Especially when you're so scripted, you've got this wait for laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll be a nice level playing field when we're all out, though. Shit. I mean, everyone's out of practice, and it'll be a blank slate for stand-ups for sure, so that's something.
I don't know. I think I'll have a bit of a head start.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I've never been in practice.
Live from the Apollo, Dan Cawley!
What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you? Or some of the weirdest things?
He's like trying to get into our inner soul.
Yeah. Well, again, I've been watching Westworld. I'm trying to decode you.
Okay. The weirdest thing that's ever happened to us in our entire lives?
Well, no, just a weird thing. What's a weird thing? Shall I start?
Okay. He's got a story.
Sounds like you've got
Okay.
So this is true. This isn't a joke. In fact, and I've never told it as a joke, but it is just really weird. I was thinking about it today because I've had a lot of time to think since back on old Earth. When I was like in my early 20s, a friend of mine went away on holiday and was due to come back around his birthday. And so I bought him a pet canary. I bought him a pet canary because he was really into like birds and stuff like that. So that when he came, and on the day he was due to come back, I got it into his flat. We were in the same block of flats, and fed it and everything, so that when he came back later that day, he'd have a lovely canary. What he didn't tell me was that he delayed his return home, and by the time he got home, the canary was dead. So rather than a nice birthday present, it looked like I tried to frame him for animal murder. It like ornicide or something like that. That's a true story.
Yeah. Or he didn't think it was. He knew it was from you. He didn't think it was some mafia message.
Well, initially, who knows? The fact that I found it in my bed with its head cut off suggested that that wasn't the end of things. But no, so that's a true story. I don't even know why I would buy someone a canary.
You sound like a whimsical kind of guy.
I am a wonderful guy. That's right. I'm assuming you said wonderful.
This isn't funny, and it's a really weird story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So this guy came up to me and my friend Helen in the street, and he was very small, really small, but not like a little person. He was just a very small person, and he was Irish as well, and had like freckles and red hair, and he asked us if we'd hold 2 coats and 2 umbrellas for him. This was August. He was from a radio station, could we put these very thick black long woolen coats on and put the umbrellas up, just walk around the town centre for like an hour, and if we got spotted we might win something. And he was like sweating and in a really big hurry, and he gave us the coats, and then he ran away. And so we just put the coats on and we put the umbrellas up and we walked around for like an hour, and then after a while we just began to like feel really weird and suspicious and like, what are we doing? Who was that guy? And then and because we're in the Arndale Centre as well, we were like, what if there's like bombs in the umbrellas or something? And we got really scared, and then we legged it to the police station and handed them in and had to tell them what had happened. And they like kept going, what? A little Irish man with red hair gave you these? Yeah, and told us to walk around for an hour. It was so bizarre. And then so they kept them for a week, and when they said they were safe, we just went and picked them up, and then I had like a free really long black coat and an umbrella. So I still don't know what that was about. I still don't know. What do you think, guys?
I think it was Batman's nemesis, the Penguin,
Yeah.
who did a couple of body doubles going about what robbed somewhere in Eastbourne.
I think that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Sounds plausible.
Do you think he just shoplifted a couple of coats and umbrellas and just palmed them off?
And then he was trying to launder them.
I got given a massive bag of weed once. Massive, like full of marijuana, really big bag. Someone said to me, here, can you hold that for a while? And just ran away. I get given all sorts of stuff.
I was on vacation, and
I just put it in the bin and just walked away because I'm not interested.
Sensible, Tandy, very sensible.
Thank you. I don't want people to keep giving me stuff for free that's scary. I don't mind free nice stuff, but why free scary stuff?
I don't think anything interesting has happened to me.
I once got given a lion. If you imagine that the lion was giving himself to me, he jumped on me. A real lion.
Was this in Tanzania?
No, it was in South Africa.
Is that where you were born?
No, it's next door.
You live next door to South Africa?
Yeah, that was next door.
Oh, it was next door. It's not next door now.
No. I'm not in South Africa. I'm not in Africa now.
Tell us more about this lion story.
Yeah, so I was in a lion.
You better not be lying.
Very topical, Tandy. Lions attacking people and all.
I was with my brother and my dad, and we went into these gates with massive signs on the outside saying enter at own risk. So immediately I was sort of cautious and a bit worried. Plus there were lions in there. My dad was a very keen photographer. I was only about 14, and he was taking photos of a few lions that were asleep. And then some locals came over on the other side of the fence, like on the safe side, and they started pointing and laughing. And I don't know what that was for. And then so my dad, he was taking pictures of these sleeping lions, and my brother then said, "Oh, watch out!" And I looked, and there was this lion. They kind of gallop, and he was galloping right for me, and then he jumped on me and started biting my arm. Because I've grown up with cats, I just started going, oh, you know, that sort of thing. And I was wearing a denim jacket, so I had a little bit of protection on my elbow. And then my brother, who I honestly thought hated me, grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and punched it round the nose like it was a bloke. Just punched it around the face, and then it whimpered off and went and laid down in the corner. And the whole time my dad was just taking photos of these sleeping lions.
As fathers do, they need to document the
That was the same holiday that I nearly drowned because he put me on a boat on a white water river, and I got stuck underneath the boat because it turned over, and there was a fridge tied to the inside, which was.
Where was his birthday? Where was this holiday? Jumanji. Where did you go?
There was a scorpion. No, two scorpions and a blackadder in the mud hut that my brother and I stayed in. No, the one next door actually, but it was very close. There were no doors, so yeah, it was crazy. So we went for this walk that was supposed to be like an abseiling thing, and we walked so far, and I was really tired, and I was like, I can't go any further. And again, we were carrying a lot of fridges, And my brother turned around and he was like, Dad, Tandy can't go any further. And just at that moment, the guy who was crazy, this guy called Greg, who every time you complained about death, he just gave you a chocolate bar. He went, it's okay. I can't do his accent. He was Canadian, Cat. And he said, we're not going to do the abseiling. We're just going to jump into this. We're just going to jump off this waterfall. And then we looked and there was this really long, big waterfall. And like most of the people who'd nearly died on that holiday were like, no, we're not doing it. But my brother, who's usually really not very brave, but he was like, he'd already fought off a lion. So he jumped off and he went into the water at the bottom. And you know, like a rubber duck in a bath where all the water's pouring out onto it and it starts going under, just like that. And my brother was just kept on being full stunned by all the water. And I was thinking, Greg is a madman. And I think he just likes to watch. So I just got my dad's camera and just took loads of photos. He did survive.
Like father, like daughter.
Toby.
Oh, that's over now then.
Thanks, Tandy.
Regale us with a lengthy, interesting story.
I forgot what the question was. What was the question?
Something that's weird that's happened to you, and those two were very weird.
I had a weird one happen to me. I met a crazy guy called Greg who gave me a chocolate bar, and it was a lion bar. That's in my top three. That's in my top three things that's ever happened to me.
It's not very catchy. It wouldn't make a song.
No, it wouldn't. No.
That has reminded me of what happened to me once. I bought a sausage roll from a shop.
Crazy, yeah.
And there was an extra half sausage roll in the packet.
Whoa.
Best day ever.
Hey, baby.
Day ever. Yeah.
Honestly.
That's cool.
I could
chicken.
not believe my...
Yeah, that's luck. That's not weirdness. That's lucky. That's a good day.
But there's no explanation as to why they would put an extra half just in. Like it was
factory workers.
I think it was probably someone's finger toes.
But wrapped in puff pastry.
Yeah, because the machine puts all the sausages through the puff pastry, so someone's accidentally gone, whoa! It's ended up in your mouth.
What's the weirdest support act you've ever had at a gig?
Support act?
Yeah, what's the weirdest
You're
kind of
overestimating us, Andy.
We're all kind of on. I think we're still in the mixed bill category for most of us. And
mine was a donkey derby. I was once on after the donkey derby.
I did do the Gong Show in Leicester Square. And I asked my parents to come. I don't know if that was a good idea. Well, no, I know it wasn't a good idea in retrospect. It seemed like a good idea at the time. That one of the acts, in order to fulfill his 5 minutes, was continuing to take off different items of clothing.
Oh.
And he got gonged off pretty early. But the host decided that because they hadn't gonged off someone else that he thought was rubbish, he made them watch as this guy took off the rest of his clothes, and I was sitting there with my parents.
Oh no!
They thought I did
comedy,
well.
Mum, it will be great, Mum. You'll love it, Mum.
Was it renamed as the Dong Show? Was that what it was called by the end? Toby, Toby, was that what it was called? Toby, did they change the name of it at the end?
Hello.
Oh, is Sarah there?
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. I'm Cat.
So Sarah's our only viewer.
Yeah. I'm just going to watch this now, and then you won't have to like put it out because I've seen it.
You can watch it now. Yeah.
You're watching it live. That's
rather than 3:30 in the morning like I have been doing.
You can do that. The only trouble is then we'll have no views on YouTube.
Mm.
I could put it on and not watch it and just let it play on my phone.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You do that every day.
Yeah. I'll just do it all day. I'll just keep pressing play again.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sarah.
And watch it. That should take up a few viewers.
Don't let your kids watch it.
Not after the Dong Show.
I've only just worked out how to do, so I missed Toby's story.
Brilliant.
Hello, Toby. I don't think I've met you.
No, I don't think we've met. Hi, Sarah.
Were you at Tandy's wedding?
Bit of it, yeah, the end bit.
So
The second version of the vows, which, quite frankly, were better.
How do you know those?
We've been in the same room.
Been in the same country.
You know, Cat says.
I do.
You know, Cat. Cat. Do you know Cat?
Hello, Cat. Are you Cat? Hi, Cat. Were you at Tandy's wedding?
No, I wasn't. I think I was away.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. No, I did invite you, didn't I? Of course I invited you.
No, I was. I was doing. I was, you did. I was away.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask y'all. The whole coronavirus, and there's everyone's public media talk about how friendly everyone's become, getting to know your neighbors and all this. Am I the only one who's finding when you go out for your one walk a day, not many people are that friendly? Is it just me? Is it just my block?
How close are you getting to them, Cat? Do they know you've had it?
Hitting me with a broom. They do not want to converse at all, even from the safe 2-meter distance or whatever. I'm not getting the friendly vibes when I'm walking around.
If you do want to do social distancing properly, if you just treat everyone like they're a lit firework, and then everyone will keep a safe distance.
But
to
I
continue
like
my analogy,
my neighbors 3 houses down, like I'm sort of waving when I'm walking by, and they sort of shut the curtains.
Tell them what your neighbour said once when you were walking past their kid.
No, okay, because it's a good story. This was actually just outside my house. This woman was walking up. She was sort of worse for wear with her little kid who went off on his bike or threw his bike. Anyway, he went away from his mom, and his mom shouts at him, "What you're doing right now is my dad's got the problem." At the top of her lungs, like, oh.
What you're doing right now is why Dad's got the problem.
My dad's got the problem. Like, just shouted it out. I mean, shoot.
My next door neighbours are they're Moroccan, and they're very nice people, but they're constantly shouting at one another, like constantly. And every time they shout at each other in their native tongue, from the I don't know the language, but from the tone, it sounds like every conversation is her telling him that they need to dispose of that body they accidentally murdered, and he's just not taking it seriously. That's the tone of every conversation that they have.
Did they do it naked? Because you Freudian slip there.
I didn't Freudian anything.
Tongues are naked.
Andy, are they shouting Monkin fame in Shadlap?
I don't know, but I feel like you just cursed me in Mordish or something.
Cup of tea, that's what I know in Moroccan.
Wow.
Okay.
I went to Morocco, and that's what I knew what to say, but I don't drink tea, so it wasn't very helpful.
Pointless.
Sarah, what's your question?
Okay. Have you seen that video of the Irish pastor who was in hospital and the cleaner came along? Please tell me you've seen it, else there's no point in my question.
Yeah.
So he was in the middle of the night craving prawn cocktail crisps and Coke, and the next day this cleaner came in and brought them to him, and it was what he'd asked for, what he prayed for. I want to know if God knew that the cleaner had a bag with Coke in and prawn cocktail crisps, and therefore he gave the desire to the pastor to ask for them, so that he answered a prayer that way. So he put a desire in his heart for what he knew he was going to get. Or did God say, okay, you've asked me for that, and he told the cleaner to go and get the Coke and prawn cocktail crisps? Which way round do you think it is?
That's a very, very good question, and absolutely on topic with what we've been talking about so far. Dan, you go first, because I want to bide my time with this.
Well, largely it will depend on whether the pastor actually liked or had any allergy to prawn cocktail crisps. That would be my first question. So it would need some more digging, but I suspect that that he probably does have an allergy to it. So it was given to him, and what makes it even more miraculous was the fact that he was given something that would be fatally poisonous to him. He ate it, and it actually helped make him better.
Oh, Dan's gone now. Oh,
So that's it. I've answered. I've peaked. And now I'm off.
When my my daughters were a bit younger and we were living in Manchester, we were doing bedtime, and Alice, who was probably 3 at the time, she said, "Daddy, we don't have any toothpaste." And I said, "Well, don't worry, we'll just use water. You know, it's not the Middle Ages. Your teeth will still be there in the morning." And she said, "No, I need to pray to Jesus for some toothpaste." She said, "I said, go on then." I thought, well, this is ridiculous. He's got better things to deal with than, you know, whether your teeth are pearly white. And so she prayed for toothpaste, and then literally a few minutes later, the door went, and it was one of our, not our next door neighbour, but someone from our church who lived locally, saying, "Hey, we went shopping. We bought too much toothpaste, so we thought you might like some for Alice, because it was like this special kind of funny kids toothpaste. So we thought we'd bring you around this toothpaste." So again, similar sort of situation in terms of inspiration and, you know, chicken or the egg.
That's cool.
Very cool.
So I'm all I can do really, Sarah, is affirm the question, but I don't have all the answers.
I'm going to weigh in here, because I think Andy's quite rightly brought up something, that there is a necessity in toothpaste, that it's a normal thing that people will buy. And I think, as I mentioned, I went shopping today, and on the shopping list, and it's always on there, prawn cocktail and Coke every time. Prawn cocktail, crisps and Coke. So I think there's something just in the universe that God has put there that means that everyone is always buying prawn cocktail, crisps and Coke, or in my case, Diet Coke. I don't know if that, maybe I'm ruining it a bit, but I think I think just everyone always has that.
Yeah.
And this Irish pastor, maybe it's just in the UK, because if he's Irish, I don't know about Ireland, actually. I'm gonna back out of this. I think I've got myself in too deep. I don't know if I'm right. Is
there any chance we can click see translation for what you just said, Toby? Because I'm not totally convinced that meant anything.
I started zoning out at prawn cocktail crisps.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard the phrase prawn cocktail crisps, like the most I've heard it since 1989,
prawn
to be honest.
Cocktail crisps.
Oh, you Brits love prawns. Like when I first came here, prawn cocktail crisps. That's a crazy flavor. And then also those little sweets that are in the shape of prawns. Like,
oh yeah. Yep. They are up there with some of the best things ever.
Those little foamy things. I was like, what kid wants a fish flavored sweet, but it doesn't taste like fish.
It tastes delicious.
It's hilarious.
They are.
Why prawn? I don't know.
You know what though? I used to like prawns because my mum used to give them to me and I didn't question it. And then I saw them in their natural habitat and I was horrified. It's like worse than eating a caterpillar. Ugh.
Yeah, they live in slums, so it's just not nice. In like really rough neighbourhoods. Yeah. I wouldn't eat a prawn. Having seen where they've grown up.
Are you saying that because it's cruel or because you're a snob? I'm trying to work it out.
A little bit of A, a little bit of B. I don't want to discriminate except against prawns, really.
Cat, are you French Canadian?
Not really. My last name is no. I was brought up in an English-speaking household.
Do Canadians eat a lot of weird French food though?
No. What do you
mean?
Okay,
back to Dan.
Snails? Are you trying to lead us to a snail conversation?
Like maple syrup.
I was going to say you eat mussels and things like that, don't you? Weird stuff like that.
I think most nationalities eat mussels.
Yeah, you're right.
There's nothing wrong with or weird about mussels.
Oh, have you seen what mussels look like? I know you just put them into your mouth willy-nilly without looking, but
Dude,
next time look at them.
I'm like a huge oyster fan. I'll eat it all. Yeah. And when I eat shrimp, I eat the heads and everything. Yeah.
Oysters.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm with Cat on this. Shellfish.
Everything.
Love shellfish.
Yeah, love it.
Aren't they alive when they go down?
Doesn't matter.
Oysters, well, you shovel them out of the shell. No, I don't think they're alive.
They're still alive. Mum says they're still alive.
Are they? Well, they're delicious, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't. Honestly, Tandy, it doesn't matter if they taste nice.
Exactly. You were just talking about prawn cocktail, Chris. You don't know what the hell goes in those things, hello, and they're delicious.
No, they are.
Or Diet Coke. That stuff is just chemicals, but we all love it.
Yeah. Best way to have chemicals. If you're going to have chemicals,
you might as well just get a spray tan and pesticides. That's the same thing as drinking a can of Diet Coke, okay?
Apparently Diet Coke is poisonous when it's heated. So
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
Like a load of, I think it was American soldiers, maybe UK soldiers became ill when they were, I think, in Afghanistan, and they were given warm Diet Coke. It made them ill.
Oh, wow.
Well,
actually, I think it's just that it tastes better chilled, and they were trying to make a thing of it.
I'm sure I read something where pilots aren't allowed to drink any diet sodas because of the aspartame or something. It affects their vision or something. No, I'm not joking. I will find that article and post it to you.
That's worrying.
It affects your vision that much that they don't let pilots drink it.
Champagne is fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
I would have thought you'd have liked mussels, Tandy, because of course their home environment is gated communities.
What are you saying about me?
Well, you didn't like prawn cocktails because they grew up in the slums, but mussels in gated communities.
Mussels, the snobs of the shellfish.
Right.
Oysters make pearls, don't they? And that's very posh. Whose house was that?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I live in Transylvania in the 1400s, and my servant Igor just popped in to say hi.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Says. That was a good question.
Yeah.
Were you not going to ask the one about the unprecedented one?
Sorry, I've got children that are
Yeah.
Sorry?
Guys, I'm so sorry. I've got to, the little one, I'm getting texted by my angry husband.
Oh, is he the little one?
Yeah. Nice that you stayed with him, though.
Yeah. Yeah, the kids they've had it, haven't they? This past few days has just been the level of they're getting.
And what really helped was giving them loads and loads of chocolate.
All that piping hot Diet Coke that you've been feeding them as well.
Yeah, the past few days have been. Yeah. But I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna.
It was lovely. It was lovely seeing you.
You can always come back if you want. We might still be.
Might still be here. Let's see.
Yeah.
We know it's diarrhea, really.
Okay.
What was the unprecedented question, Says?
Why can't people think of another word instead of unprecedented? Because it's doing my head in.
Did we
Do
talk
they
about that?
not got a thesaurus? Like, let's look up a different word, because that's all you hear. It was even in Asda the other day when I was going around.
Yeah, James Earl Jones used to say it all the time, and I liked it when he used to say it, but now everyone says it.
Who used to say it?
James Earl Jones, and I think he's the best person to say that word. If anyone's going to say it, it's James Earl Jones.
When did he say this?
On Michael Jackson's documentary from like the 1990s, maybe late 80s. He is insurmountable as well.
Did he only say?
Or maybe his work is insurmountable. I don't know. But it's James Earl Jones. He can say words like that, and it sounds great.
It sounds all right once. It's just when you hear it about 20 million times over 3 weeks.
I'm telling you, Sarah, if it was James Earl Jones saying it in Asda, you wouldn't be complaining right now.
Okay.
I once went to the same church as James Earl Jones for a while. Yeah, for a while. He tasked me with coming up with a church garden party for the summer, and I didn't do it. Like, I forgot to do it, and he told me that he found my lack of faith disturbing, and that was because James Earl Jones was Darth Vader.
Yeah,
remember Star Wars. Put your hands up if you remember Star Wars. Let's start at the beginning. If you remember Star Wars.
Yeah. I've seen it.
There you go.
And now put your hands up if you want to be friends with me still. If you're still interested in being friends with me.
I just think I'm wondering whether Tandy asked you to ask that question, Sarah, because Tandy is actually James Earl Jones' new agent.
Man, I thought you were going to say I was James Earl Jones there. I was really excited in case I was.
That would be a twist. That would be a twist.
Well, that would, yes. I mean, who knew? A man from the West Country played the body of Darth Vader, but it was James Earl Jones who did the voice. And now it turns out James Earl Jones is actually a lady from Colombia.
I just checked really quickly. He's still alive, isn't he?
I don't think so.
I actually had to Google him, and that's not who I came up with. The one you're talking about.
Sarah, is he still alive?
I don't know. I've got some bloke from the army.
I've got on Wikipedia. It says.
Did he die of drinking Diet Coke? Warm Diet Coke?
He's still alive, but he's 89, so any day now.
Oh. Toby.
Cut that out. I'll say that again.
I will cut that out.
No, that was brilliant.
We love you, James.
We want James to do Lion King 2 live action.
Yes, we do. We want him to make it that far. My kids have a friend called James, and they've probably just heard me shout, "I love you, James," really, really loudly. One of their best friends called James. I'll have to go and explain that in a minute.
Yeah.
I tell you what gets annoying. Whereas you get into your 30s onwards, is rap music. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, love rap music.
Do you? Well,
yeah.
Going in your 20s, let alone.
Well, I'd like to hear. I just think it's all the same. It's basically all the same, like mouth talking, isn't it? It's all the same song. I'd love to hear some hip hop or rap where the singer was rapping about how they were only, probably averagely talented, and if anybody tried to cross them or diss them, they'd simply try and diffuse it over coffee. But that's never what happens. It's always like, oh, I'm amazing and I'm going to kill you and things like that.
Andy, you're listening to the wrong rap music is what you're doing. You need to listen to some good rap music, and then you wouldn't be complaining about it.
Well, tell me what's good then.
Garvey. Garvey, Andy, Craig, KB, Tadashi, Trip Lee, Derek Minor. I could go on.
Did you sneak the name of a geography teacher in there at the end? Who's Derek Minor?
He's Morris's brother.
Right. Yes, well, obviously Morris was more of an engineer, but I wanted to really pursue my interest in the music industry, and so I did, and I became quite popular. I remember in the early 90s, I was actually originally slated to do the Nate Dogg bit on Regulate by Warren G, but in the end, I couldn't do that. And Nate Dogg, he is dead. Nate Dogg is dead.
Is he?
Oh man, that's sad.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's been dead for ages.
Yeah, that was bad.
This is like a teenage phone call now, just singing down the phone to one another.
Yeah. I just decided to imagine that this was one of my work conference calls, and that would have been an excellent bit.
There's a picture of a manager on a conference call, and he'd accidentally swapped his face out to that of a potato. On the face swap, and not been able to change it back for the whole meeting. And some of the other work colleagues had taken screenshots. That's one of the best I've seen. I've seen other ones with the Pope when he's got a bow tie and stuff like that. where the manager turning himself into a potato.
I mean, if you're going to engage with this generation, with the latest generation, you can't just say something like with your normal face. You've got to have some kind of filter on just for them to listen to you. If you don't have, whether it's, you know, fake sunglasses or an emoji on your face, they're just not going to listen to you anyway. So you need to do that. And I don't know, maybe in future we'll have live filters in real life, just so that we can continue to talk to each other.
Are you telling me that's how I get my teenagers to listen to me? I've got to
just put a mask on
all the time.
Pretty much.
Yeah, 2 fake bunny ears or whiskers or something, or
like a toilet roll. You could just stick a toilet roll there and just say you're a unicorn.
How long do you think you can stare at bathroom tiles for before your mind starts playing Tetris? How long do you think you can do that?
92 days.
9 days.
92.
Okay.
Shall we give it a go?
Yeah, let's all go and have a bath.
Yeah. So the next part of this podcast is the first person to come back is
from the bath.
We're just gonna go and.
Okay.
Can I just give it? Can I just give a shout out to our friend Kevin Moore, who's continuing to work at Camden London Underground. Got a couple of photos here from how dead it is at the moment. And my friend Jane Brickwood, who's working as an NHS nurse. She's looking after 7 coronavirus patients right now. I think you're doing an amazing job. Well done, guys, for still going out and doing your thing.
Yeah, good.
Very impressed. Yes. Very impressed. Sarah, were you going to say something then?
I was going to say, if I'm your only viewer, how are they going to hear that?
Well, you're going to tell everyone, says.
Yeah.
Tell the dinosaur to tell everyone.
You're going to tell them now, Sarah. Yeah. I was very impressed by the NHS. Shall I tell you what I'm not impressed by? Animal photography.
What, animals taking photos?
No. Photos of animals. Not interested. You know, that kind of, wildlife photographer of the year. Leave me alone. Like, I'm not impressed by someone taking a photo of an animal doing what animals do. It doesn't matter how high definition it is, or when you got them, like, oh, I got this rabbit coming out of its warren, but that's what rabbits do. You know, if you get an action shot of a manatee partway through a bank heist, then I'll be impressed. Or like a giraffe giving a thumbs up as he's about to winch down from a helicopter, then yes, win all the awards, have all the awards. But like this is why squirrels on surfboards are more popular than the Pulitzer Prize. I honestly believe that.
But you're okay to sit and watch tiles in your bathroom?
Yeah. It also doubles as my bedroom though, Sarah. I don't have one of those modern flats. I bed down in the bathtub.
The alternative to staring at bath tiles is to actually just play Tetris for a long time, and then it just takes over your dreams. Everywhere you look, you're just looking for you wonder why when you put a book back on the shelf, why the shelf doesn't clear.
Yeah.
It's just a very confusing few days when you come out of that reality.
Yeah.
He lives amongst the prawns. Sorry, I'm just going to cut that in earlier on because I wanted to say that after I said bathtub. Because you said you had to bed down in the bathtub, and then I thought that was a great time to say he lives amongst the prawns because they live in slums.
Isn't that great about editing? Is that you can think of a punchline like in 3 days' time, and I'll just send you the footage and slot that in.
Exactly.
I have the smallest bath in the world. It's so small.
Oh, bath, yeah.
Sorry, bath. Have you been in my bathroom, Tandy? Have you seen how small?
I've been in the downstairs one with I love the light. When you put the tap on, there's a blue light.
When I sit in my bath, my legs are over from there. It's that small. But my landlord.
It's a bucket.
You are? It's tiny. But my landlord, who lived in the house before me, is about 6'3" or 6'4". My 7-year-old is comfortable in the bath. I do not know why he fitted a bath that I can't even get my legs in.
Wow. I'd love him, like get him back and take a photo of him in the bath. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Just to sit in the bath. I think Tandy just said sit in the bath, not take a bath and take a photo.
No, Tandy did say get him to have a bath and
take
film
some
it.
sneaky photos. Don't do that, Sarah. It won't be a landlord for much longer.
No, a shower will suffice.
I think what you're talking about there is a basin.
Yeah.
Both of me sitting fully clothed in the bath. Show you. Or should I just go? I'm not supposed to be here.
Keep cutting out, so I'm not quite sure what's going on.
I think Sarah wants to go. I think.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I think going to have a bath.
She's gone to get in her basin.
Can I come back and listen and I won't talk anymore?
Yeah.
You can talk. It's not we're not a dictatorship.
Well, we won't be with that attitude. I'll tell you what I've been doing today is as part of this podcast. It's a problem for me now because I can see everybody but Tandy.
Yeah, same with you. I've had to scroll to see your face. That's okay. Have I gone?
Yeah, you've gone.
Yeah, I swiped across to see you, but then I had to do that earlier.
No, but has
Your
my
video
image
has gone.
Yeah, your image has gone. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go and come back.
There's no party without Tandy.
No. Did I tell you about the pasta I ate? I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. I cooked breakfast for all the boys today.
Beautiful.
We couldn't get. Obviously, we can't go out. Couldn't go to Wetherspoons or the other place we normally go, the Treacle Mine.
The Treacle Mine. I've been there.
You have been there, yeah. And no one got poisoned, I don't think. So I was fairly happy with that. The first time I've cooked. These
things can take 10 to 12 days to start manifesting. So.
Oh, okay.
Sarah, what's your favourite food?
It's such a cruel question. Cruel. I said cruel.
Yeah, it sounded like you said cool. That's such
I had to correct that. It's a cruel.
I was briefly elated.
It's like asking your favourite song.
Getting Jiggy With It by Will Smith, 1998.
Well, of course you would. You're just a very one-dimensional character that only likes pasta cooked in chicken stock, and Getting Jiggy with it by Will Smith. But for others of us that eat other foods and listen to other music, we've found out that there are other things that are good.
You're so postmodern. Tell me what truth is, Toby. What's truth?
Truth? It's a constantly moving, flowing river.
No,
truth.
Wrong.
That you live by.
Wrong. You're thinking of wisdom. I was in my normal sized bath today, and I was thinking, because I'm always coming up with preaching zingers. That's why I'm in such demand as a preacher, and that's true. I mean, I really am in demand. The thought that occurred to me today in my normal sized bath was that there's a difference between truth and wisdom, or wisdom and truth. So wisdom will give you ideas of how to live well. Because based on the idea that people say, oh, I think, every religion contains its own wisdom. And I say, yes, that's fine. But wisdom is there to help you make good choices and to live well. But truth will tell you why you should be wise in the first place. So wisdom without truth is pointless, isn't it? So ultimately, the point being that we actually need to work out what the truth is, not just who's saying nice sounding things about life.
Yeah.
This is for you, Kevin. This clapping is for you. I'd love to see a worship band at church start worship on a Sunday by saying, "This one goes out to all the haters."
It'd be quicker to say, what food don't I like? I don't like prawns. I don't like mussels. I don't like oysters. I don't like squid, although I will eat it.
I will not work with children, but I will dance with them.
I don't like beetroot.
Pizza's my favourite food, but I hate seafood. So pizza with seafood on is it? Honestly, it feels like it's like et tu brute, basically. Et tu brute is Latin.
Latin. It's Latin, Tandy.
Latin is French.
It means eat two brute.
Yeah, have 2 of these, brute. You brute. Have 2 slices of this, you absolute brute.
I was given pizza with carrots on once. That was disgusting.
Pizza with carrots on?
Carrots and peas.
No, that's not a pizza.
That's what I was given, you know.
That's not. You weren't. Whatever that was.
Jen makes pizza with pasta on top.
Andy, maybe you should try that next. You know, you made such great pasta. You should try that on a pizza.
He's busy interneting.
No, I'm just writing down on my in my comedy journal. Pizza with anchovies is basically my et tu brute. I thought that's quite a nice line. I'm going to use it in my future book.
Do that one if you go to like do a Oxford University or something.
Or if you do it in the Globe, they will know that.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a line from a Shakespeare.
It's from Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar, the Shakespeare play.
What's your favourite food, Dan?
Well, if I had to choose any meal, I'd probably have like a Chinese starter. So maybe some mini vegetables, spring rolls, prawn crackers, things like that. And then for the main...
Prawn cocktail crisps, did you say?
No. And then for the main, I think the Sunday roast. So roast chicken, potato,
roast beef.
Your puddings, all of that. And then for the pudding, I'd go for like an Indian pudding. So one of those little pistachio ice creams that they have. I forgot what they're called now. Dessert.
Oh, it's like a sorbet. It's like a sorbet.
It's like it's like sorbet. It's very refreshing.
If I was told to live without one food, that's probably the better question, Andy.
Andy, you know, you are making background noise. So while people are talking, there's just this tapping sound going on. I
was trying to recreate the opening scene from Murder, She Wrote.
If I was told to live without one food, which is a better question to ask Andy in future, I couldn't live without peanut butter.
Wow.
That is the one food.
That's ironic because a lot of people can't live with peanut butter, but it's crunchy or not.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm not looking to make friends here. Let's put it like that.
We have a friend who we had to wipe everything down after, before she would come to just be in the house because she would get anaphylactic shock even if she touched something where there was peanut butter.
Yeah. I used to take peanut butter sandwiches to school and lost a couple of friends just because they didn't like me. Not a morbid. Those two facts aren't related at all. I'm sorry, probably gave the wrong impression.
On that note,
anyway,
thanks everyone for watching. Sarah,
what a fun time. Thanks, Sarah, for being our live viewer.
Can you see how good my editing is now, Sarah?
I have actually got a question for you. Because I was watching your second one today, and you said you can't take a comedian to a comedy club for their birthday. Did you forget that your bridesmaids took you to a comedy club for yours? Tendu?
No, I didn't forget.
And I never will.
I didn't go. I couldn't remember why I didn't go, but I came beforehand and had my hair done and ate chips. And then I remembered I didn't have a babysitter and I'd dropped the kids off somewhere and had to go and pick them up. So I missed it. But
you missed Ian Cognito, one of his last ever performances, which is sad. Poor guy.
He died.
Yeah.
He died like 10 days later. Yeah. On stage.
And people thought it was a bit.
Yeah, they laughed at him for ages. Yeah, it was really sad.
So many comedians die on stage.
Tommy Cooper did it as well.
Yeah.
And somebody else.
Tommy Cooper did it first, though. So
I don't think it's stealing if you die.
It's an homage.
Yeah.
I hope I die via assassination.
Oh.
I want to be martyred.
Really?
Wow.
Not this week or anything, but because I don't have a pension of any kind, when I get to 65, I'm planning to go to live in North Korea as a missionary, but just make it really, really obvious that I'm a Christian from like day one. Like, anyone want to try Alpha? Because no, think about it. Because that way, I will die a hero, and I won't have to worry about not having any money.
Will you die a hero or will you die an idiot?
No, a hero.
Okay.
Ask it again, Dan. See if he gets it this time.
Will you die a hero or will you die an idiot?
No, a hero.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
One more time. Just...
Will you die a hero or will you die an idiot?
No, a hero.
Thanks for coming, Sarah, to ask your question. This has been really fun.
Tune in next time and we'll find out how Dan wants to die.
Yeah.
I hope that's cheered anyone up. If we have got any other viewers apart from Sarah, I can't say viewers apart from Sarah. I hope, you know, in these horrible times, that's cheered you up, that thing that we did about talking about death. And I certainly hope that people who are on their own and lonely, like Andy, can take the solace that they're not on their own. Well, they are on their own, but Andy's also on his own. So
like Matt, almost unfathomably
on your own.
Yeah,
possibly for months, maybe a year, maybe more.
I am indescribably on my own, guys.
Anyway, we've got to go.
You as well. You as well.
What a great way to finish. I'm going to go to bed. You do what you like. Nice to meet you, Sarah. Thanks.
Next time, Fred Armisen.
You know, I'm a key worker and they haven't asked me to go in. What does that say about me?
You're the spare key work.
Hey. Hey.
Thanks to Cat Neilson.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Andy.
Bye.
Bye.